I want to talk about Christian nation. It's not, okay? The United States has never been. Now, I usually don't write notes, but I want to make sure that my facts are right. So let's talk about the actual history of the United States of America, okay? The Trail of Tears in the 1830s. Andrew Jackson, Indian Removal Act, led to the forced death marches of over 60,000 Native Americans. That's right, white people, whether you like it or not, we're immigrants. So maybe the Native Americans should deport us. But you know, nothing says I love Jesus like murdering 60,000 Native Americans, right? Wounded Knee, 1890. The U.S. Army, wow, the government, great job, Christian America. 300 Lakota were murdered, you know, under manifest destiny because Christians believed that white men were ordained by God. Which scripture was that? I'm sorry, maybe I missed it. Was it Nehemiah? Was it Jonah? Habakkuk, Isaiah, Nehemiah, Obadiah. Which book said that white men were ordained by God? That's right, it's not in there. And breaking news, the Second Amendment's not in the Bible. And even more breaking news, Jesus isn't white. And I know this is really gonna throw you for a loop, but the United States is never mentioned in the Bible. Shocking, I know. Breaking news for some of you uneducated white people that live in your mom's trailer. I digress. Let's get to black people, you know, because the plantation owners, the founding fathers that you worship as if they're Jesus, owned black people like pets. They weren't good people. They were morally bankrupt. I don't give a crap that they wrote the Constitution. I truly don't care. They were awful human beings. They treated black people less than. And they designed this country to benefit 21-year-old landowning white men. And black people were only worth 3/5 of a white man. Huh. I'm going through my Bible, the book of James and Paul and Corinthians and Galatians, and I can't see where a black person was less than a white man. So maybe some of you MAGA red hatters there, you cult members, can tell me where that's right. It's not in there. But you don't care about that, do you? Because you just want to weaponize the Bible. You know what's really gross? And there's a lot that's gross about the history of this country. Over 4,000 lynchings. And looking at pictures, it's sick. I would see people hanging from trees. And all these white people dressed up in their nice clothes, like they were going to park to listen to a concert. Just walking around. They're just hanging from the tree. Such a great Christian nation, right? Such great Christian values. The Tulsa Massacre in the 1921, 300 black people were murdered because, you know, God forbid black people have the right to have, you know, to be successful and want to get ahead in life and be equal to the white man, because God forbid that would be an atrocity. Rosewood, 1923, an entire town was burnt to the ground by white vigilantes. You know, it's fascinating. White people started the KKK, white Christians, primarily comprised of sheriffs and pastors, because, you know, nothing says I love Jesus like putting on a white hood like a coward and putting a rope around a black man's neck and hanging him from a tree. You know, praise Jesus, right? It's so disgusting that so many people in this country weaponize religion, especially Christianity. You don't give a damn about school shootings. Over 40,000 people pass away every year to school shootings. And you focus on Lincoln Riley. Do you know why that is? Because you don't give a damn about the other 43,000 people that died that year. Because she was murdered by a non-white person, an immigrant. And it feeds into your white supremacy, your white victimhood, going back to the actual history of this country. What is the Klan leader doing in the White House? Building concentration camps for non-white people. DEI, CRT, Charlie Kirk, the white nationalist, says, if the pilot's black, I wonder if he's qualified. Have you ever said that about a white pilot? No, you haven't. I'm sure that was just an oversight and not racist at all. This country has never been and should never be a Christian nation. Because if that's Christianity, then I want no part of it. It's disgusting and it's vile. I would argue that being a Christian and being a person of faith is making this video and calling out what this country is. It's full of fake white Christians that see their version of America going away. Now, when I say their version, when you hear the nuclear family, when you hear traditional family values, it means that iconic photo of a white kid sitting next to a white cop at a white ice cream shop being served by a white server. Leave it to Beaver. And they saw a black man sitting in the White House instead of picking their cotton, and they went ballistic. They didn't know what to do. They saw their version of America going away. And they went back to what they know, the plantation owner. There is a famous quote that I don't want to get wrong, but I'm going to summarize it. And it says that this country will support the most uneducated, morally bankrupt, bumbling idiot, white man, that's literally picking your wallet, that's stealing from you, over the most educated black man. And that's exactly what we got. We got the Klan leader in the White House who talks about electric sharks, Hannibal Lecter, who's a rapist, 34-count felon, cheats on his wife with a porn star, because nothing says I love Jesus like that, right? But somehow he was ordained by God. And his little ear, where you people put tampons in your ear with duct tape, you believe that God saved him? Where was God during the Holocaust? World War I, World War II? Where was he when George Floyd was murdered by, U.S. citizens? Where was God when Ahmaud Arbery was chased down by U.S. citizens, white U.S. citizens, just because a black man was going down the street? Because if I'm walking down the street, I'm going for a jog. But if it's Ahmaud Arbery, he must be stealing a TV because he's black. How about all the U.S. citizens that beat officers on January 6th? Though they got pardoned, that's right. But if Colin Kaepernick takes a knee, using his constitutional right for free speech, he's a son of a bitch. Got it. Totally not racist. This has never been and should never be a Christian country. And history has proven that it is not. It has never been a great country for everybody. And until enough people that look like me say this and have this conversation, it's not going to change. It doesn't matter if the Democrats or Republicans are sitting in office. This moment right now is about one thing. It's not tariffs. It's not the price of eggs. It's not the price of gas. It's not about the price of your cost of living. It's not about lowering housing prices. It's not about making your life better. It's about maintaining white supremacy. And we, as a media, as white men specifically, have to call it out every damn day, because I'm sick and tired of people being treated less than based on how they look. And I'll leave you with this one last tidbit. I find it funny and ironic that so many white people judge black people because of how they look on the inside when they're black on the inside. Have a good day.